They say she had golden hair like sunlight and eyes that could melt stone. Yet when people whispered her name, it wasn't love they spoke of, it was fear. Her name was Lucrezia Borgia, and this is the story of her villainy. In the blood-soaked courts of Renaissance Italy, her name shimmered like a blade in candlelight. Was she the smiling angel of death at the heart of the Borgia legacy, or a woman born into a brutal game who learned how to play it better than most? What follows is not a tale of myth, but a journey through fact, rumor, and the space between. Because in Lucrezia's world, truth was as dangerous as any lie. She was born in 1480 in the small town of Subiaco, Italy. Her father was Rodrigo Borgia, a Spanish cardinal whose ambition towered above his station. Her mother, Vanozza de Catane, was a Roman noblewoman and longtime mistress of Rodrigo. Lucrezia was the third of their 4 illegitimate children. In most families, that might have spelled obscurity, but Rodrigo Borgia had plans. In 1492, he would ascend to the highest throne in Christendom, becoming Pope Alexander VI, a moment that would forever change Lucrezia's fate. It was common knowledge in Rome that the Pope had children. It was also common knowledge that the Borgias were not saints. But what was less known, and far more dangerous, was how far they were willing to go. The Renaissance was not a golden age of virtue. It was a time of intrigue, political assassination, and shifting alliances. Poison was a tool of diplomacy. Marriages were weapons. Rome was not merely a holy city, it was a battlefield. And into that battlefield stepped Lucrezia. From a young age, she was educated in Latin, Greek, poetry, and courtly manners. She was taught how to speak with charm, when to remain silent, and how to read a man's intentions by the way he lifted his wine glass. Her father, Rodrigo, and brother, Cesare, recognized her not as a fragile daughter, but as an asset. By age 11, she was betrothed to a Spanish nobleman. That fell through. At 13, she was married to Giovanni Sforza, a member of the powerful Milanese family. It was a political alliance meant to solidify ties with Milan, but alliances shifted fast in Italy. Within a few years, the Borgia-Sforza alliance was no longer useful. Rodrigo and Cesare wanted out. They pressured Giovanni to agree to an annulment, citing impotence as the reason. Giovanni, humiliated, lashed out. In retaliation, he accused Lucrezia of committing incest with both her father and brother. These accusations were sensational, vile, and, according to most historians, very likely false. The incest rumors originated with a bitter ex-husband, attempting to save face. But the damage was done. The rumors took on a life of their own. It's crucial to understand that the Borgia family had many enemies: powerful Italian nobles, rival families, and clerics who despised the Spanish Pope. The press, such as it was in the Renaissance, often served the interests of these enemies. Much of the Borgia family's notorious reputation stems not just from their actions, but from a relentless campaign of propaganda designed to paint them as monstrous. In 1498, Lucrezia married again, this time to Alfonso of Aragon, Duke of Biceglie, and illegitimate son of the King of Naples. The marriage was again political, but this time it appeared there was genuine affection. Lucrezia and Alfonso reportedly got along well, and she was pregnant within a year. But politics turned deadly. Cesare Borgia, having allied himself with France, saw Alfonso's Neapolitan ties as a threat. In July 1500, Alfonso was attacked by armed men and left badly wounded. Lucrezia tended to him, refusing to leave his side. But weeks later, while recovering, he was murdered, strangled in his bed. Was Cesare responsible? Almost certainly. But what Lucrezia knew, and when she knew it, remains a mystery. Some believe she was kept in the dark. Others suspect she may have realized the truth too late to stop it. What we do know is that she was devastated by Alfonso's death. Tragedy, however, did not define her. Her third marriage would take her to Ferrara, where she would finally come into her own. In 1502, Lucrezia married Alfonso d'Este, heir to the Duchy of Ferrara. The Este family had hesitated. The Borgia name was toxic, but pressure from the Pope and a generous dowry sealed the match. And in Ferrara, Lucrezia transformed. She became not a victim of her family's schemes, but a skilled ruler in her own right. When Alfonso was away on military campaigns, Lucrezia governed. She negotiated with foreign ambassadors, managed economic affairs, and curated one of the most vibrant Renaissance courts in Italy. She became a patron of the arts, supporting poets like Ludovico Ariosto and maintaining correspondence with leading thinkers of the day. Her court welcomed musicians, scholars, and playwrights. She helped restore Ferrara's reputation and stability after a period of unrest. She also showed considerable political acumen. In one incident, when rumors arose that she had ties to a rebellious faction, Lucrezia used a careful blend of diplomacy and spectacle to quash the gossip, hosting elaborate events that dazzled her court and refocused political attention elsewhere. This was not the work of a pawn. It was the work of a duchess who knew exactly how to wield influence. But the shadows followed her. One of the most curious mysteries surrounding Lucrezia is the case of Giovanni Borgia, known as the Infans Romanus, the Roman infant. In 1498, a child appeared in the Borgia household. 2 papal bulls were issued, one claiming the child was Cesare's illegitimate son, the other oddly claiming Pope Alexander himself was the father. Lucrezia was not mentioned in either, yet many speculated she was the boy's mother. Some believed he was the result of an affair during the Sforza annulment. Others, more disturbingly, tied him to the incest rumors. But there is no definitive evidence. Historians remain divided. What is clear is that Lucrezia cared for the child, whether he was her son, her half-brother, or something else entirely. As the years passed, she suffered multiple miscarriages and the deaths of several children. She also battled poor health, possibly related to the strain of constant pregnancies. Yet, even as her body weakened, her legacy grew. She died in 1519 at the age of 39, shortly after giving birth to her final child. She was buried in Ferrara, remembered by many there not as a schemer, but as a devoted mother, a capable ruler, and a woman of intellect and compassion. So what in the end do we make of Lucrezia Borgia? She was born into a family stained by scandal, a family that thrived in the ruthless world of Renaissance power struggles. Her early life was shaped by the ambitions of others, but she was no fragile pawn. She learned, adapted, and eventually ruled. The legends that surround her, the poison rings, the illicit affairs, the incest and intrigue, are more often the echoes of enemy propaganda than proven fact. That these stories endured is a testament to how deeply sexism, fear, and political bias can shape a legacy. Yet there is no need to rewrite her as a saint to appreciate her strength. She navigated a brutal male-dominated world with skill and resilience. She wielded charm and strategy where men wielded blades. And unlike many who surrounded her, she outlived the worst of the storm. So no, Lucrezia Borgia was not the poison, she was the survivor. And in history's darkest chapters, that might be the most dangerous role of all. Thank you for watching this episode of Fireside Villainies, Lucrezia Borgia, the Scarlet Serpent. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next descent into history's shadows. Lucrezia's name still drips with scandal, but behind the veil of myth lies a woman far more complex. A noblewoman born into corruption who refused to be defined by it. A duchess who understood that in a world of blades and whispers, a steady hand and a sharper mind could be just as deadly. For exclusive content, early access to future episodes, and other benefits, consider becoming a member of Fireside Villainies. you'll be supporting the telling of more sinister, complicated stories from our shared past. I'm Michael, and I've been your guide through this sinister tale. Until next time, tread carefully through history's shadows.